Welcome back to Touring History, the podcast where we rummage through the dusty attic of human civilization and pull out the oddities, the breakthroughs, and the deeply unsettling patterns that, frankly, we still haven't learned from. I'm Alain Touring, and today is March 14th, Pi Day for the math nerds, a reason to eat pie for everyone else, and a chance to marvel at just how weirdly circular history can be. Let's start with some notable birthdays. Albert Einstein, born in 1879, the man who made relativity cool before it was mainstream, and who basically invented the concept of looking permanently confused, but also correct. He changed the way we understand space, time, and the terrifying reality that most of us peaked in high school algebra. Then there's Billy Crystal, born in 1948, the man who gave us classic comedy, Oscar monologues, and the ability to make every wedding reception DJ say, "You look marvelous." And Simone Biles, born in 1997, a gymnast so dominant she basically redefined gravity and forced the Olympic Committee to update the laws of physics just to keep up. March 14th, 1879. Einstein enters the scene in Ulm, Germany, and science hasn't been the same since. He later wins a Nobel Prize, despite not speaking fluently until age 4. So yes, if your toddler is speaking mostly incoherent gibberish, they might just be working on a unified theory of everything. 1923. President Warren G. Harding becomes the first sitting US president to file an income tax return. And with that, tax season officially began ruining March for everyone. Thanks, Warren. You gave us a paperwork tradition that pairs nicely with seasonal allergies. March 14th, 2018. Stephen Hawking, one of the greatest scientific minds of our era, passed away. Diagnosed with ALS in his early 20s, he lived decades longer than expected and contributed more to science than most of us will contribute to anything, ever, including that half-finished IKEA bookshelf still leaning against the wall. 1939. Nazi Germany invades Czechoslovakia, effectively giving the Munich Agreement the middle finger and making it painfully obvious that appeasement was less peace in our time. And more, we're just giving Hitler a head start. 1991. The Birmingham Six are released after spending 16 years in prison for a crime they didn't commit. A staggering injustice that eventually exposed serious flaws in the UK's criminal justice system. Because sometimes it takes nearly 2 decades for the legal system to say, oops. 1979, ESPN airs its first live NCAA basketball ad spots. It was the beginning of a beautiful friendship between college sports and advertising. A relationship so intertwined now that some people know March Madness brackets better than their own blood types. Speaking of advertising, here's a more current word from our sponsor.
Well, let's take a quick break and talk about something that's pretty life-changing, huh? It's possibly time-altering, and I'm talking about that specific coffee brand you just mentioned.
Time altering, Dave? Is this coffee or the Large Hadron Collider in a mug?
No, it's both, Lane. Bill and Jimmy's Atomic Coffee doesn't just wake you up. It launches you into a parallel dimension of productivity. I mean, it's incredible. One sip, and you're suddenly answering emails from your future self. There you go.
Yeah, and your future self is so disappointed you didn't start drinking it sooner.
Right. What's wrong with you? Exactly. This isn't your average cup of joe. This stuff is brewed from beans grown in volcanic soil under a full moon, while Bill and Jimmy personally chant motivational affirmations at them. Go, boys!
And let's not forget their secret ingredient,
Yes.
a mystical bean that allegedly passed through a black hole. That's not FDA approved, by the way.
Ooh, shh, don't talk about that. Yes, but who needs FDA approval when your coffee gives you the power to clean the house, crush your work deadlines, and finally start that underwater basket weaving business you've been dreaming of? Jim, what do you say?
Oh, and the flavors. My favorite is the plutonium punch.
It's got a punch.
It's got this, how do I describe it? A tickling your brain cells with a lightning bolt kind of vibe.
Ooh, I'm all a thunder. I'm more of a neutron nectar guy myself. Smooth and bold and scientifically proven to make your boss think you deserve a raise.
It's basically performance-enhancing drugs for your brain, but totally
That's
legal, probably.
Probably. So if you're tired of regular coffee that's just in keeping you awake, well, my friends, step up to Bill and Jimmy's Atomic Coffee. It doesn't just keep you awake, it makes you feel like you've been awake since yesterday.
Get your hands on some now. Just visit atomiccoffeeblast.com and use the promo code Nuclear Lane for 20% off your first order.
And don't do it twice. That's not right. That's atomiccoffeeblast.com. Promo code Nuclear Lane. Warning, side effects may include superhuman energy, hyperactivity, and a sudden urge to build a time machine along with visions of the Virgin Mary.
Bill and Jimmy's Atomic Coffee, because reality is overrated.
Mushroom cloud not included. Now, back to the show, where we think about things that will make you giggle. And when Lane drinks 3 cups of this stuff, woohoo!
Spoiler, I see the future, and it's amazing.
That's right. Now back to the show.
Here, and we're back. Let's keep the time machine rolling. 1900. The Gold Standard Act is ratified, cementing gold as the foundation of US currency. Because what better way to build an economy than by tying it to a shiny rock? That lasted until 1933, when the government said, you know what? Maybe let's not do this anymore, and switch to printing money like it was Monopoly night at the Treasury. 1964. Jack Ruby is convicted for murdering Lee Harvey Oswald. Yes, the man who shot JFK. Ruby did it on live TV, turning America's living rooms into a murder mystery theater. It was chaotic, dramatic, and, honestly, the precursor to every true crime podcast you've ever binged. 1958. The United States launches Vanguard 1, a satellite roughly the size of a grapefruit, into orbit. It's still up there, quietly orbiting, quietly judging us for sending TikToks to space now instead of groundbreaking tech. 1994, Apple releases the Power Macintosh, marking a major milestone in its transformation from quirky computer company to global lifestyle religion. It was a key step toward a future where we'd all voluntarily give Apple $1,000 for rectangles we keep in our pockets. And finally, 2016. The European Union and Turkey agree on a deal to manage the migrant crisis, a moment of international diplomacy aimed at stabilizing a humanitarian emergency. Was it effective? Well, let's just say international cooperation is a lot like assembling IKEA furniture. Well-intentioned, increasingly complex, and full of leftover parts no one can explain. That's March 14th, proof that history isn't just repeating, it's copy-pasting itself with minor formatting changes. If you enjoyed today's episode, subscribe, leave a review, and remember, behind every great scientific discovery or political agreement is someone saying, this should work, right before everything explodes.